What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Thief 2: The Metal Age. This is shipping and receiving, the second level. We're doing it on Expert, and as far as equipment goes, we're going to buy an invisibility potion because we've got more than enough to afford it. Buy the moss arrow, and then go ahead and buy yourself a slow fall potion. I stocked up on the water arrows, but I had to put one back to get a slow fall potion. So, we need that moss arrow because we're going to need it to drop down with minimal noise here at the beginning. So, first things first, climb out of the crates we're in, slip through right here, and then open up this crate and steal a silver statue. That'll be our first piece of loot. We have a loot quota of, I think, 850 in this level, and on Expert we have an extra objective to steal 5 bags of spice from a smuggler named Captain Davidson. Now, these spice bags are red. You'll know them when you see them. Anyways, before we jump to the ladder and climb up onto the catwalks up there, there's a guard that needs to turn around. He's right there, and he just turned around. So jump into the ladder and let's climb. This is one thing finicky and kind of dated about the first 2 Thief games that you kind of have to get used to. Using ladders is very awkward. The best thing to do is to run and jump into them if you're climbing up. And if you're climbing down, you kind of want to slowly walk into them from the top. So shoot your moss arrow on the floor right here. You will take damage from this fall, but the moss will reduce the noise, so that guy in there shouldn't freak out. And that guard shouldn't really hear you either. So next piece of loot is in a little box right up here. And here's one thing about this level. If you look at the map, you can see... Oh, pick up that key underneath the keypad. You can see 4-digit codes to all the different warehouses in these docks. The first warehouse we need to get into is the crew office, or the barracks, I think it's called. So put in the keypad code for that room. That office has the shipping label we need to do our main objective, which is to swap out the shipping label on a big crate with a fake one. So yeah, don't do that. I forgot what that code is off the top of my head, but it's... If you look at the Building A first floor map, it's the really small it's the little small office room in the bottom left-hand corner of the Building A first floor map. Putting that code in will open the large bay door so that we can walk right in. What we want to do is wait for that specific guard to walk by while hiding in shadow, because we need to pickpocket his key. It is called the Building A key, so that we don't have to lockpick all these doors. Okay, so next things next, we'll go outside on the catwalks right here, avoiding the guard that's up here, and we just need to carefully move over towards these crates right here. There's see that open one back there? We want to go in there. I reloaded because I made more noise than I wanted to. But in there, we need to use our square tooth lockpick to unlock that little crate. And in it is a rope arrow. It's also one of 14 secrets that are hidden in this level. I will be showing off a lot of the secrets in this level, but I think I'm only going to show 10 out of the 14. So your square tooth lockpick, you press and hold, and you'll unlock it, and then go ahead and take the rope arrow that's inside. Rope arrows are very useful. You launch them into some wood, and then it deploys a rope that lets you climb. Unfortunately, the rope arrows can only latch on to wood. There are vine arrows later in the game that can latch on to metal and other things, but we don't get those up until Life of the Party. Anyways, let's proceed onwards. Just stay in the shadow to avoid that guard. And then in here is the door we opened, and on the desk is the shipping label we need to complete the objective. Now we need to go back to a keypad to open a different door. Specifically the one for, I think it's called Lord Porter's Fine Arts for Sale, if I'm not mistaken. And then, like I said, check the map. The 4-digit numbers on each warehouse bay is going to tell you the combination to open their doors. So that green key that we stole underneath the first keypad that we used, it'll open this little shack, and there's another keypad in here. There's at least 2 of these shacks you can use to change the code. Okay, next code is 6937 937. That'll close that office door and then open it'll open the warehouse that has the fine arts for sale, because there's definitely some stuff to loot in there. Just stay in the shadow to avoid the guard again. Then carefully go ahead and go this way because it's got the most shadow. Here's the next place we're going to. Another way you can see the 4-digit keypad codes is they should be next to the bay doors as if they're like address letters on a house. Anyways, carefully get in here, and as long as there's nobody that's like staring directly in, we need to carefully get to the other side so that we can flip that latch right there to close the door. So most of the loot in here is behind this desk on the shelf right here. There's some stuff there under the desk, and then there's some stuff on the shelves, including 2 moss arrows. Make sure you take those. Now I'll show off the secret in here. There's a hallway with some paintings. If you read the sign under this painting at the end, it says, let thine arrow fly into thine crystal eye. Just shoot a broadhead arrow into the crystal eye that the woman is holding in the painting. It'll swing the painting open, and there's some treasure for you to take. Now this secret is tricky. It's a tricky shot, but you gotta make this shot. Use a broadhead arrow, which is a typical arrow. You need to hit the elevator switch, but you need to hit the one at the bottom so that the elevator comes down. If you hold the arrow long enough, it'll zoom in so it's a little bit easier to aim. Aiming arrows in this game is something you gotta get used to because they arch upwards and then for a few seconds before arching downwards. You especially want to get used to that with water arrows because you need to precisely hit torches in order to douse them. With moss arrows, it's not really that precise. But with rope arrows and water arrows, it definitely is. So loot some stuff in this little office bedroom right here. There's like something on the desk and then a couple things on the bedside table. The Building A key will unlock that door. Keep in mind that the doors inside the warehouses that are just regular doors, the locks are next to the doors. They're not on the doors themselves. So if that guard is over there, hide somewhere else so that he can get past you, like so. Just stay in shadows. And just quick load if he does by chance catch you. And now we'll go back to this keypad, because now we need to open Gilver Exporting Company, 7933. 7933. Alright, and thankfully that'll be the last time we need to use that keypad to open a bay door. There's a lot more stuff in Building A you can see, like, he saw me, so I quick loaded. For example, there's like a warehouse for like steaks, where you can steal the recipes out of the safe in there. But I don't like going in there because there's spiders, which is a carryover from the first game. And whenever the game has monsters, has like hand-me-down zombies and monsters from the first game, I typically avoid those areas. Of course, the exception is a few areas that are guarded by like zombie hammerites, because their AI is more like the guard AI, so you can easily just sneak around them. Anyways, once we change the code, avoid the guards, and let's proceed onwards. Be very careful in these corridors, because there's like 1,000 guards that can walk through here. And it's hard to keep track of their current patrol route locations, so stay in shadow as best as you can. I mean, avoiding visual contact with guards in these games is not really that hard, even on expert, because they usually have to stare at you for a few seconds before they actually get really suspicious and start actively searching for you. It's more so the noise that you have to worry about. So watch out for him. We're actually going to go out here. We're going to use one of our moss arrows on the ledge right there so that we can jump over without making noise. And one of our 2 slow fall potions. Drink the first one now so that you can slowly drop down without taking any damage. This is a pretty big drop, so we definitely want to use one of our slow fall potions here, because that drop would hurt. And we're already going to be taking a lot of damage in this level from dropping down. So once you get in, flip the latch to close the door. Equip the shipping label, because this is the one we need to replace as our main objective. There you go. Now it's just a matter of meeting the loot quota and getting the 5 spice bags, both in Building B and on Captain Davidson's ship. So use your sword to destroy that map on the wall, and there's a secret with like a little diamond that'll give you some loot. And then we'll go upstairs with this elevator, and there's plenty of loot for us to get up here. We'll start by jumping and climbing onto these crates. There's 2 boxes of treasure hidden back here in the crate stash. And that's another thing that's kind of clunky and outdated in these games, is the way you can jump and climb stuff. It feels kind of wonky. The best thing you can do is like jump towards it and then just look up as high as you can, and that usually tends to work. When jumping, you want to climb stuff, you have to press and hold the space bar once you're close to a ledge. Anyways, lots of valuable plates here, except that one. Just steal them all and drop the one that's not loot. And now we're going to make our transfer from Building A to Building B. So get the key, get the building, I'll just call it the A key from here on out. See what I mean by the locks are to the sides of the doors and not on them. Use the A key to unlock the door, and we'll get back to this corridor. There's a nice stairwell that will transfer us from Building A to Building B, right over here. So this will take us up to the 3rd floor of Building B, where we're going to encounter our first security camera. Yes, there are security cameras in this game, because if you're following the story, the game is about this funky new religious organization called the Mechanists taking over the city, kind of basically kicking out the Hammerites and taking over as the religious organization. the mechanists build a bunch of these steampunk-style machines, including the security cameras, but that switch I just pulled that had on and off on it, switch it off, and then the camera will turn off, so it won't detect you. The cameras kind of operate the same way guards do, where in order to truly detect you, they have to stare at you for like a few seconds, exposed in light. There's a book on the bookshelf that will open that secret door, and there's a gold candlestick in there. And then over here in the opposite room, a golden plate on the table. I tried to eat some apples to recover health, but I guess on expert, they're insufficient health recovery. And then some coins. I thought there was like a health potion or something there, but unfortunately there's not. So now we'll take the elevator over here to get down to the second floor, so just hit the top button to call the elevator up here. Alright, it's coming. And then hit the middle button once you're standing on the platform to take it down to the second floor. Going back to the mechanist machines, well, first of all, go to the shadows so that you can just stand in the middle of this room hidden from the guards. Yeah, the mechanist, like the security robots and the cameras and stuff, I know, I've seen at least some people, like Mandalore Gaming, for example, who were disappointed that a lot of the like spooky supernatural horror elements of the first game were kind of wiped away from this one and only appear in some hidden areas that are pretty easy to avoid. But I'd argue this game just takes a different approach with it by having like these like steampunk robot machines, which I'd argue suit the stealth gameplay much better with like security cameras or security robots and stuff. Anyways, this guard with the sword, you've got to pickpocket the building B key off of him. In this room, we need to pull the lever with the 4 over it, because that's going to open the rare artifact bay, which will give us some more loot. But yeah, most of the zombies and the monsters from the Dark Project / Thief Gold, they didn't really suit the stealth gameplay that well, or at least most of them didn't. The zombie Hammerites kind of did, which is probably why those things still appear in several parts of this game, but the mechanist machines definitely suit stealth gameplay better, in my opinion. So yeah, extensively search this room, and you should be able to find at least 4 pieces of treasure that'll boost your loot up. Now we want to take this elevator down to the first floor, and I'll call it the B key. The B key will unlock this door right here. And again, the locks are to the side of the door. So now we need to go outside to go to Captain Davidson's pirate ship. So here's the best way out, is we'll unlock this door right here and leave this door open so that we can keep coming in and out of it as we continue to do stuff here. That woman is actually going to come this way, which, anyways, just let her just stay back and stay in the shadow. If you're too close, she'll see you. And once it's clear, we can work our way over here, but stay to the right. Now, making sure staying as far to the right as you possibly can, we want to get into the water. And we're going to board the ship via a ladder behind the stern, which is right here. So grab the ladder and carefully climb up, and then once you're up, Get your water arrows out and just douse these torches just to give yourself a little bit of cover. And what you want to do is you want to turn the wheel and then lower the telescope. And that's going to reveal a secret inside the captain's quarters. It's going to open a crate that's in there, which is going to contain one of our 5 spice bags. Now that pirate there kind of perceived me too much. Just use the crow's nest pillar as cover, douse those torches with your water arrows, and then as soon as he's looking away, work your way over here to the shadows where you can conceal yourselves. This is where the invisibility potion that we bought from our loadout is going to come in handy. One of the pirates that walks often on the ship, I'm assuming it's Captain Davidson himself, he has a key that we're going to pickpocket called Davidson's Key. And then the pirate that's just standing on the ship has a spice bag that we're going to pickpocket off of him. So pickpocket Davidson's Key and then pickpocket the red spice bag. That gives us one spice bag, and we need 5 more. Davidson's Key will unlock this door to the captain's quarters. And in this crate is a spice bag. So now we have 2 of 5. And then gold candle. And then slash this banister, this like mural thing. Use Davidson's Key to unlock the treasure chest, which is actually a secret. And then on this side, do the same exact thing, unlock with Davidson's Key. This is also a secret. And at this point, you should have reached the loot quota of 850, I think it is. But we still need 3 more spice bags before we can extract. Down here is a gold bottle right over here. Go ahead and take it, because you might as well get as rich as you possibly can. So now we need to get off the ship. There is another secret on this ship. There's a crate right here to the right there. There's a spice bag in there, but there's also spiders in there. And this will cause the pirates to freak out. So I'm not going to get that one. I'm going to deliberately skip it. The spiders could also hurt you as you try to steal it. But the smuggler pirates freaking out is the real reason why I don't want to open that crate. So you just jump overboard and back into the water, and then we'll backtrack the way we came to get back into Building B through the same door that we opened. So just carefully work your way over, because you want to make sure the coast is clear. So go on in. And now we need to, there's 2 more spice bags down here hidden amongst the stack of crates. One of them is amongst this stack of crates right here, and the other one is a stack of crates on the other side. So that rope arrow we took way earlier, launch it into the crate to deploy a rope, and you can climb up. So climb up, and then very carefully take the rope arrow back. And then just carefully drop down here. You'll take a little bit of damage, but not too much. And then in the corner right here is a crate that can only be unlocked with Davidson's Key. So unlock, and in it there's an invisibility potion and also a spice bag. So the best way back out, use the B key to open this door. And then we can... I forgot that there's no keyholes on the outsides of the doors, just the insides. So you gotta go back this way. Now we're gonna go to the crate stack at the other side. Right over here. We'll use our rope arrow to get up there. So yeah, get your rope arrow, shoot it into the top of the crate right there, climb the deployed rope, climb up, get the arrow back, and then we can lockpick this box to get the treasure with it. Or wait, no. I don't remember what's in here. We'll see in a second. This is one of those locks where you have to flip-flop between the two lockpicks until the lock is open. Your square tooth and your triangle tooth. And it was another rope arrow in there. No loot. Which is good. Anyways, now we have 2 rope arrows. Davidson's key will open this crate. The lock is on the side. And then there's another spice bag for you. We'll have to drop down again, but you won't take too much damage, so no worries there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go to another secret, but this one you don't really need to go to unless you want to get another invisibility potion. If I remember correctly, as I recorded this, I didn't use any more invisibility potions because the only time I really wanted it was on Davidson's ship so that we could get his key and then that spice bag off that other smuggler. But anyways, I just wanted to show that the secret was here. You need a rope arrow to climb up, invisibility potion, and a scouting orb. And here, the other slow fall potion we have, you could honestly use it here to get back down. But here's what I mean by climbing onto ladders and ropes is just very clunky. Like, a situation like this, it's really hard to re-grab that rope. The best thing to do is to take the arrow back and then just reshoot it here so that you can just kind of walk and fall into the rope. We'll lose the rope as a result, but we just got a new one back on the crate stack, so no worries there. We don't need any more rope arrows anyway, so even if that was our only one, we're fine. Let's call the elevator and return to the second floor, because our 5th and final spice bag is going to come from one of the offices up here. This office can only be unlocked with Davidson's key, which we obviously have. So just carefully avoid the 2 guards up here. This room right here that we opened that rare artifact bay door earlier, you can go out here to go out onto the balcony, get Davidson's key ready, and then this last door to the left is the one it'll unlock. And then the key will also unlock the crate, revealing our 5th spice bag. I think there are at least 6 spice bags you can get. So if that's the case, the only one I didn't get was that crate on the ship's deck that had the spiders in it, but I skipped it for a reason. Now we'll use the catwalks to get over to the other side of the building. Our last moss arrow I'm going to launch onto the crates over there because we need to jump and land. And with moss on the ground, we can land softly. And now, this drop is not that high, so you don't really need a slow fall potion. I just used it for the hell of it, just because I didn't want to take any more damage. We took too much already, and I don't have any healing potions. It's probably a good idea to buy one in the loadout, honestly, but if you do things the exact way I've been doing it, you should be fine. Alright, now we're back over here. Stay to the right. No, sorry, the left, where the shadows are. We have 2 invisibility potions. By all means, if you don't want to sneak around this guard right here, just drink one and run past them. And hell, you have 2. Since I went to that one secret that I kept falling and dying from before moving the arrow, drink your second one and just run your way to the exit, which is going to be right back in this crate stash where we first started, right in front of us. Just climb up, and then climb in, and level over. There we go. That completes the level. We have ghosted it. No knockouts, no detection, and we found 10 of the 14 secrets, which is pretty impressive. Alrighty, I'll see you next time.